If debt ignores cash flow, time won't save your project.
In project finance, debt is not the villain, misaligned repayment is. Most projects don't fail because they can't make money. They fail because the timing of their cash inflow doesn't match the timing of their repayment. Let's take a simple example. Imagine a power plant that needs 5 years to reach full output. In the first 2 years, income is modest. But if the debt schedule assumes equal repayment from day one, the project starts losing oxygen early. This is where debt sculpting comes in. It gives your loan the flexibility to breathe with your cash flow.
Debt sculpting gives your repayment life, not lines on a sheet.
Debt sculpting is the art of designing loan repayments that match your project's cash flow available for debt service, CFADs. It's about aligning repayment with capacity, not convenience. Instead of paying equal amounts every period, each installment is calculated based on how much cash the project can actually generate at that time. Let's visualize this. In year 1 to 3, the repayment is lighter because CFADs is still ramping up. From year 4 to 10, when the project stabilizes, repayment becomes stronger. And in the final years, both decline together. This flexibility keeps the DSCR, debt service coverage ratio, stable and lenders happy.
You're not bending numbers, you're harmonizing cash with commitment.
The heartbeat of debt sculpting is maintaining a target DSCR, debt service coverage ratio, across all periods. The DSCR tells lenders how many times the project's cash flow can cover its debt payments. Formula: DSCR equals CFAD / principal plus interest. If cash flow fluctuates, but repayment doesn't, DSCR becomes volatile. Volatility equals risk. Sculpting removes that volatility by adjusting principal repayment each period to maintain a constant DSCR. Let's see this through another visualization. The sculpted line keeps DSCR consistent, proving the project can safely meet obligations even when revenue changes slightly. This builds lender trust and opens doors for better financing terms.
Smart sculpting doesn't chase numbers. It shapes them with intent.
Debt sculpting is a reverse calculation process. Instead of asking, how much can I repay, it asks, how much should I repay to keep my DSCR stable? Here's the logic. 1. Calculate maximum debt service, max DS allowed. Max DS equals CFAD / target DCR. 2. Subtract interest from max DS to find principal. Principal equals max DS interest. 3. Iterate through every period using financial modeling. In many project finance models, this is coded in Excel using iterative loops or macros, ensuring that every year's repayment aligns perfectly with projected cash inflows.
Smart sculpting doesn't chase numbers. It shapes them with intent.
A. Full sculpting. This reshapes the entire repayment schedule to match the project's full cash flow pattern. Best for projects with predictable income like renewable energy, toll roads, or power plants. B. Mini-perm or partial sculpting. Used when long-term revenue is uncertain. Here, you sculpt only part of the loan, usually the first 5 to 7 years, and refinance later. This gives flexibility and control during the early years when project stability is still developing.
Full sculpting builds balance. Partial sculpting builds flexibility.
Even well-sculpted plans can fail if built on wrong assumptions. Over-optimistic revenue projections inflate cash flow and understate risk. Ignoring maintenance capex leaves less for debt service than expected. Using DSCR on gross instead of net cash creates illusion of safety. No buffer for delays. Real projects rarely go exactly as planned. This stress test shows why conservative assumptions protect both borrower and lender. Sculpting is not about perfection, it's about endurance.
In finance, optimism builds dreams, but realism builds projects.
Debt sculpting is more than just financial engineering, it's strategic architecture. It transforms debt from a burden into a tool that supports growth. Let's recap the essence. Match repayment to cash availability. Maintain consistent DSCR. Build lender confidence with predictability. Protect project liquidity through flexibility. When done right, sculpting ensures the project survives downturns and thrives in upturns. The difference between success and failure often lies not in how much you borrow, but how you plan to pay it back.
Debt sculpting doesn't remove debt pain. It manages it smartly.
To every project finance professional, remember, debt sculpting is not about making the numbers look neat. It's about giving your project room to breathe. So the next time your lender asks for your repayment plan, don't just show them dates and numbers. Show them a story of rhythm, resilience, and responsibility.
Subscribe and join me, Thanya, where finance turns into confidence.